Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gaurango Nitai Gaurango Nitai Gaurango Gaura Hari Nitai Gaurango Nitai Gaurango Nitai Gaurango Gaura Hari Jai Prabhupada Jayo Prabhupada Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Jayo Srila Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Jayo Srila Prabhupada Jai Gurudev Jayo Gurudev Gurudev Jai Gurudev Jayo Srila Gurudev Dev Jayo Gurudev Gurudev Jai Gurudev Jayo Srila Gurudev Jai Gaur Hari Bol 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 निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल निताय गौरांग भगवान की जय शिला प्रभुपाद की जय शिला गुरुदेव की जय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. So today we are reading from Canto 10, chapter 60, chapter entitled Krishna Teaches Rukmini. So we are reciting text 44. Tasyasyur achyuta ripa bhavotopadistha Strinam griheshu kharagosa vidala bhritya Yat karna moolam arikarsana nopayayat Karna moolam Yusmat katha mrida virincha sabhasu gita Tasyasyo rachuta ripa bhavotopadistha Strinam griheshu kharagosva vidala bhritya Yat karna moolam arikarsana nopayayat Yusmat katha mrida virincha sabhasu gita Tasyasyo rachuta nripa bhavotopadistha स्त्रीणां गृहेषु खरगोस्वाविदालभृत्या यत्कर्णमूलम् अरिकर्षणनोपयायात् युष्मात् कथामृता विरिञ्च सभासु गीता तस्याः पदोपदिष्टा स्त्रीणां गृहेषु खरगोस्वाविदालभृत्या यत्कर्णमूलम् अरिकर्षणनोपयायात् युष्मात् कथामृता विरिञ्च सभासु गीता तस्याक्षितो निपबतापदिष्टा स्त्रीणां गृहेषु खरगोस्वाविदालभृत्या यत्कर्णमूलम् अरिकर्षणनोपयायात् युष्मात् कथामृता विरिञ्च सभासु गीता तस्यास्योरच्युता नृपा भवतोपदिष्टा नाम गृहेषु खरगोस्वाविदालभृत्या यत्कर्णमूलम् हरिकर्षणनोपयायात् युष्मात् कथामृता विरिञ्च सभासु गीता. Word to word meaning? Tasya, of her. Shu, let them become the husbands. Achyuta, O infallible Krishna. Nripa, kings. Bhavata, by you. Upadistha, mentioned. Strinam, of women. Grihesu, in the homes. Khar, as asses. Go, oxen. Swa, dogs. Vidala, cats. Bhritya, and slaves. Yat, whose. Karna, of the ear. Moolam, the core. Ari, your enemies. Karsan, O you who vex. Na, never. Upayayat, come near. Yusmat, concerning you. Katha, discussions. Mrida, of Lord Shiva. Virincha, and Lord Brahma. Sabhasu, in the scholarly assemblies. Gita, sung. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada disciples ki jai. Translation. O infallible Krishna, let each of the kings you named become the husband of a woman whose ears have never heard your glories, which are sung in the assemblies of Shiva and Brahma. After all, in the households of such women, these kings live like asses, oxen, dogs, cats, and slaves. Purport. According to Sridhar Swami, these fiery words of Queen Rukmini are a response to Lord Krishna's opening statement found in text 10 of the chapter. The Supreme Lord had said, "My dear princess, you were sought after by many kings as powerful as the rulers of planets. They were all abundantly endowed with political influence, wealth, beauty, generosity, and physical strength. According to Sridhar Swami, Queen Rukmini here speaks with anger, pointing her index finger at the Lord. She compares the so-called great princes to asses because they carry many material burdens, to oxen because they are always distressed while performing their occupational duties, to dogs because their wives disrespect them, to cats because they are selfish and cruel, and to slaves because they are servile in family affairs. Such kings may appear desirable to a foolish woman who has not heard or understood the glories of Sri Krishna. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti adds that such kings are like asses because their wives sometimes kick them like dogs because they behave inimically toward outsiders in order to protect their homes, and like cats because they eat the remnants left by their wives. So let us write the prayers together. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितमाश्च। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरविषे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यं जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, I seek blessings at the lotus feet of all the devotees so that I can say something for my personal purification and for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna. So as we were reading from this text, so where Queen Rukmini is saying that your glories are sung even in the assemblies of Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. So that is the glory of Lord Krishna. So there was a very great devotee of Krishna. His name was Punganam. So what he used to do, every day he used to go to the temple of Lord Shiva and Parvati, and there he used to recite Srimad Bhagavatam. That was his daily routine, to go and recite Srimad Bhagavatam there. So what he used to do, he used to recite one of the chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam, and he had a bookmark. So next day, which chapter he has to recite, so he used to place the bookmark there. So while reciting, he came to this chapter, that is the 60th chapter of the 10th canto, where Krishna teaches Rukmini. So he recited the chapter and he placed the bookmark at the beginning of the 61st chapter, because next day he has to recite from 61st chapter. And then he closed the temple, he went back to his house. And again, when next day he came, so he found that the bookmark is at the beginning of the 60th chapter again. So he was a little bewildered that how it happened that I had placed it, the bookmark at the beginning of the 61st chapter. Thought that maybe I did some mistake. I was not very, conscious at that time when I was placing the bookmark. So he thought that since the bookmark is at the 60th chapter, so let me recite this chapter again. So he recited the chapter, again left the temple, closed the door and everything he did. Again, he came the next day. Again, he found that the bookmark is at the beginning of the 60th chapter, not at the beginning of the 61st chapter. So again he got bewildered. He thought that maybe again I did some mistake. So again he recited 60th chapter. But it continued the third day also, because third day also when he came to the temple, so the bookmark was again at the start of the 60th chapter. So he was like, completely curious to know that why this is happening. So he thought that, no, today I will recite the 60th chapter, but I will find out that why the bookmark is coming again from 61st chapter to 60th chapter. So after reciting, he just closed the temple, but he did not go back to home. He just, from there was some small gap was there. From there, he was looking inside the temple that what is happening. So there he sees that after he has left, then Mother Parvati comes and she picks up Bhagavatam and she takes the bookmark and she places from 61st chapter to beginning of the 60th chapter. And then Lord Shiva is asking that this Punganam, he has so many times recited this 60th chapter, then why again you want to hear? So Mother Parvati is saying that, no, this chapter is so much pleasing to the heart that I want to hear it again and again. So Lord Shiva said that, no, okay, fine. So if you like this chapter again and again, so let me recite for you. Then Parvati Devi is saying, no, no, you don't recite because Punganam recites better than you. So even Lord Shiva is a great person, but still it is very difficult to please the wife. So she wants to hear from Punganam. So this we can understand that what is the greatness of this chapter, where Krishna is teasing Rukmini. So even great personalities like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Mother Parvati, all the sages when Sukdev Goswami is reciting, all the sages are hearing this. So although we are not qualified, but because of mercy of Vaishnava Acharyas, by the mercy of Prabhupada, Prabhupada's disciples, somehow or other, I can tell for myself, we are trying to somehow or the other understand this chapter and understand the different rasas, which Krishna is the master of all the rasas, he is Rasraj. So he is exhibiting different rasa in this chapter when he is trying to invoke the anger of Rukmini. That is what Krishna is trying to do. So we will try to understand like what some of the rasas which is there in this particular chapter. So in Gopal Champu, so Jeev Goswami, so he tries to correlate the pastime, what happens in Vrindavan and the pastimes, what happens in Dwarka. So in Gopal Champu he does. And Rup Goswami in his Lalit Madhav and Vigat Madhav, so he explains and basically he mentions that the gopis who are in Braj Leela, so what role and what form they take in this Dwarka Leela, the queens of Dwarka, who all they become. So one is that we know that Radha Rani, so she becomes Satyabhama, we know, and Chandravalli, so she becomes like Rukmini, and the other gopis also he describes. So along with that, he also says that one of the important things that the love of Rukmini, love of Radharani and love of Chandravalli are great, extraordinary. It is very difficult to like distinguish. We will not be able to understand it properly. So he says that the love of Radharani is just like honey, and the love of Chandravalli is like ghee. So now both honey and ghee have their own flavor. We cannot say honey is better than ghee or ghee is better than honey. But when Radharani or Chandravalli is there, so their only purpose is that they want to enhance the pastimes of Krishna. That is the purpose they are there. Just they want to enhance the pastime of Krishna. And Radharani has a different mood. Radharani, we can say that she is very demanding in nature. She's not like, she gets pleased. She's very demanding. She immediately becomes angry. That is her mood. And Chandravalli, she has a very submissive mood. She is a very gentle in character, gentle in nature, but Radharani is like opposite. So you can say that left wing and right wing. So left wing are a little bit more like, in a way that they are not very easy to please. So they are having some kind of the issue. The thing is that they are very much demanding in nature. The people who are in left wing and right wing, very submissive, very calm and quiet. So it is described in Rup Goswami like he's describing. Just example is given like an elephant. So he says that like there is one elephant, one he elephant is there, and there are two she elephants. So one she elephant is Radharani and one she elephant is Chandravalli. And Krishna is like the he elephant. So now he is the he elephant and Radharani, she is becoming angry, she is becoming upset. So Krishna pursues Radharani, that is what Krishna, that is the rasa. And Chandravalli, so she is always by the side of Krishna. It's not that she is becoming angry or she is becoming upset that why Krishna is like following or pursuing Radharani, why Krishna is not pursuing me. So in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, so it is explained that how Krishna's great love and great attraction for Radharani. So there is one pastime which is mentioned that there is a scenario where Krishna is there and Mother Yashoda is near Krishna only, and Krishna is also surrounded by his cohort friends, and then Chandravali, she is just in front of Krishna. She is just standing in front of Krishna, and there is one demon. That demon's name is Vrishasur. So that demon is sitting on the rock, and he is at the entrance of Braj. He is sitting on the rock, and he is about to enter the Braj Dham. And all this scenario is there. And at that time, Radharani appears. And Radharani is not near Krishna. She is there inside the bushes. And there are like very dense, like the bushes are there. And you can say that all the things, trees, all the plants are there. And she is not very much visible. But as soon as Radharani appears in the scene, so although Chandravali is there, Mother Yashoda is there, cohort friends are there, the demon is also there, but Krishna's eyes move at a lightning speed towards Radharani. So that is how Krishna always pursues Srimati Radharani. Although Chandravali is there, all the other gopis are there. So that is the rasa which Krishna is having with Radharani. And we all know the pastime about the Man Mandir pastime. Devotees have also discussed that how Radharani becomes angry, then Krishna has to actually bow down to her. And his like peacock feather touches the feet of Radharani. And then Radharani somehow or the other, she becomes like pleased and she like forgives Krishna. And there are like different pastimes also, like when Radharani's anger is there, then how the other like the gopis or the Yog Maya potency who comes in the picture and just try to enhance the pastime of Krishna with Radharani and just try to somehow or the other they make sure that whatever their differences are there, they get sorted out. So there is one pastime is there when Radharani becomes very much angry with Krishna and Krishna is trying his best to please Radharani, just to beg forgiveness from Radharani. So somehow or the other she forgives Krishna. But Radharani is very terrible mood. She is in a very angry mood. She is not willing to forget or forgive Krishna. So at that time, Yog Maya, so by her potency, what she does, she manifests a very venomous snake, very poisonous snake, which looks like very terrible, the snake. And as soon as Radharani sees that snake, she becomes very fearful. And she runs towards Krishna and embraces Krishna. That is how the Yog Maya potency comes and they sort out the differences between Krishna and Radharani. And in Dwarka Lila, when Radharani appears as, in the form of Satyabhama, so there we see that pastime of Parijat flower. So there just a small, simple thing happened that, not a simple thing, we can say that Krishna just gifted a single Parijat flower to Rukmini Devi. And Satyabhama starts thinking that why not to me? You have to give to me also. And she is not satisfied with a single Parijat flower. She wants the entire Parijat tree that Krishna gifts her. But here we see the rasa of or the nature of Rukmini, that she is not upset that why Krishna has given her an entire Parijat tree. So Rukmini is not upset with Krishna because she is always in that mood that no, whatever Krishna is going to do, it is fine. I am always going to be with Krishna. I am always going to serve Krishna. So that is what Krishna, like Rukmini's like relationship with Krishna is there. So now if we discuss further, so Krishna, so he wants to enjoy different rasa. So because he always sees that Rukmini is always very submissive and all. So here in this pastime, so what he tries to do, he tries to invoke the anger of Rukmini, that he is trying to do. And we have been reading in this chapter that how he is trying to invoke the anger of Rukmini. But Krishna expected that when he is teasing Rukmini, when he is trying to joke with Rukmini, then she is going to become angry, and when she is going to become angry, then he is going to go and see he is somehow or the other. He will try to say that no, I am joking with you, and somehow or the other there will be a different rasa which happens between a husband and wife. That is what Krishna had expected. So Krishna had expected the rasa will be a humor. It will be a humor rasa. So instead of humor, Krishna got horror. Because as soon as Rukmini heard whatever the Krishna, we will discuss that whatever Krishna says that to Rukmini, so Rukmini feels that maybe Krishna is going to leave me. That is the feeling which Rukmini got in her heart. And that feeling that she may have to separate from Krishna, so that pain was very much unbearable to Rukmini. And because of that, she fell unconscious. Because a person does not easily fell unconscious. Because the reason, only there are two reasons why a person becomes unconscious. One, there is like a great physical pain. Like a person meets with a very terrible accident, then a person becomes unconscious, or maybe he is suffering from some very terrible disease, or he cannot bear that terrible disease, he becomes unconscious, or someone is overwhelmed by emotions. In that case, a person becomes unconscious. And in general case, one person will not become unconscious. So here Rukmini, so that pain, that emotional trauma she experiences when she feels that Krishna is going to leave me. Because when Krishna says that I am not suitable for you, then she feels that maybe Krishna is going to leave me. And because she also knows that as Lord Ram, she left Mother Sita, then she also knows that because he left Vrindavan and came to Dwarka. So she has left all the gopis. So what is so big for Krishna to leave her also? And Krishna is all like he is self-satisfied. It is not that Krishna needs Rukmini, it's like other way around. That is why the thought process is in Rukmini's mind it comes, and she becomes completely bewildered. So then when Krishna sees that, then he goes and he revives Rukmini, and then he says that no, it was not that I wanted to actually joke with you. It is not that I am going to leave you. There is no plan for me to leave you. That is how Krishna tries to pacify Rukmini, and the Rukmini becomes pacified. So here we see that in any rasa, there are like two type of relationship which enhances the rasa. One is the predictability part, one which we can predict. Like there is relation between any relationship between husband and wife, parents and children, between two friends also. We predict that how this person is going to behave. And there is another that is called unpredictable aspect of it, that we cannot, it is like unpredictable. We cannot predict that what the other person is going to do. So that actually enhances the rasa. So in like Damodar Lila, we see that the rasa is that Mother Yashoda is in that Vatsala rasa. So she is giving love and care to Krishna. So that is a predictable part for Krishna. But when Mother Yashoda, she picks up a stick and starts chasing Krishna to chastise him, to beat him, that was an unpredictable part that Krishna had not expected. So that what happens, that enhances the rasa. Or when Radharani becomes angry, Satyabhama becomes angry, that is the unpredictable part which Krishna may not predict it. And in our day-to-day relationship also, we can see that some kind of unpredictability is there. Then we also like release that kind of rasa, because if it is not there, then the life becomes very monotonous. It's just like feeding something to a robot, and the robot will behave accordingly day after day. So that is not going to give any pleasure to our heart. So that is what Krishna does not want. So that is because in Vrindavan, in Dwarka, so it is always about exchange of rasa, the love, the loving reciprocation which is there. Always that exchange is there. So the rasa which is here, so that is here we are discussing, that is the Madhurya Ras. So what is the Madhurya Ras which is there between Krishna, Rukmini, Krishna and the queens of Dwarka, and the Krishna and the gopis in Vrindavan. So Madhurya Ras, so Prabhupada in his book, so he like when he tries to explain Madhurya Ras, he mentioned Madhurya Ras is conjugal love. So now if we see in the dictionary, the word conjugal is only applicable for married people. Even if you see, the conjugal is about Dampatya Jivan or 𝐉𝐼𝐍 Jivan, that is conjugal. And the amorous is about rasik, that is about the romantic relationship. So that conjugal word comes only when there is loving reciprocation between husband and wife. And Prabhupada, because Prabhupada is wanted to convey things in a very philosophical way. So when he says that conjugal love, even in a relationship between Krishna and gopis, so Prabhupada want to make one point very clear, that although Krishna is not married to the gopis, from external perspective, from our perspective, from mundane perspective, for our understanding, but from philosophical perspective, they are married to Krishna only. Because Krishna is the only husband, Krishna is the Purusha and all are Prakriti. So Krishna is already married to all the gopis. That is why Prabhupada uses the word as conjugal when he is trying to explain the Madhurya Rasa. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he uses the word amorous. So that is also fine. That is the, you can say, rasik, or the relationship which is a romantic relationship which happens between a person, here in the case of Krishna, just to enhance the rasa, where gopis are not, from our perspective, they are not married to Krishna. Shri Nitai Gaurang Bhagavan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So this is the Madhur Rasa Prabhupada describes. So Madhur Rasa is of two kinds. One is that Aishwarya Madhur, and the other is that about the Visrambha Madhur. So Aishwarya Madhur, so that is because Aishwarya Madhur is that which is has the some tinge of awe and reverence. So that we see in Dwarka, there is tinge of awe and reverence which the queens are having for Krishna, but that is not there in Vrindavan. So in Vrindavan it is like pure Madhura Rasa. That is it is called that Visrambha Madhura. So that is the Visrambha Madhura. That is what Krishna is having in relationship with the gopis, with Radharani in Vrindavan. So there are different rasas. So in Ujjala Neelamani is their book where Rup Goswami describes about different rasas. So basically he talks about different rasa from, there is a book called Natya Shastra from Bharat Muni. So basically many rasas has been taken from there. We'll try to discuss what I heard and read it. I will try to share some of the things. So they discuss about the different frameworks of rasas. So Rup Goswami describes, or you can say whatever taken from Bharat Muni's Natya Shastra. So there are three factors involved in any rasa. So one is that Karan, second is that Karya, and third is that Sahkari. So when we use the word called Karan, Karan as the word we understand, that is the cause. So what is the cause of the emotions which is exhibited by the devotees? In any rasa, here we are talking about the Madhur rasa, in any rasa, what is the Karan, what is the cause, which is kind of an external stimulus, which helps a person to exhibit a rasa, a particular kind of emotion. That is the Karan. And the other is the Kar. So Kar is the actions and the emotions. So what is the emotions which a devotee expresses in that particular rasa? The external exhibition, the physical symptoms, the emotional symptom is there. So what is that symptom which a devotee exhibits? That is called the Kar. And the Sahkari. Sahkari, as the word says, so it is like something which is like subordinate or assisting something. So that which assists the main emotions is called the Sahkari, or which enhances the flavor of the main emotions, that is called as Sahkari. So now if you try to understand in a more detailed way, so there are two types of Karan. One is that Uddipan and one other is called the Alambana. So Uddipan is the external setting. So if you try to understand, so here in Dwarka we see that the setting is there, that Krishna is coming to the private quarter of Mother Rukmini. And the other we can understand that how the setting works is that when we see in the Ras Leela, Rasa dance which Krishna has, so what is the setting there? So that is the full moon of the Sharat Purnima. That is the setting. So that is actually the setting which happens, that is Uddipan that happens. But that Uddipan is not sufficient. So the second things come into picture, that is Alambana. So in that Alamban is that the external character which comes into picture. So who are the external characters here? So when Krishna plays the flute, so what happens? As soon as the gopis hears the flute, so whatever activities they were doing in their house, some were serving their parents, some were serving their husbands, some were taking care of their children, some were milking the cows. So they give up everything, they leave everything, and they come running towards Krishna. So they are the external character who are helping in this pastime. And when these gopis are running towards Krishna, coming towards Krishna, so they even forget to properly dress themselves. They do not even like decorate themselves, because Krishna is their beloved. So when a young girl or young woman goes to meet her beloved, so they will properly decorate themselves, dress themselves, because here gopis are not concerned also. They are properly not dressed. They are putting their garments in different places, some jewelries in different places, not properly dressed. So here we see that the gopis are given everything of Krishna. So when Krishna says in Gita that Sarv Dharman Parityaja, so this is the ideal example, that gopis are given all the dharma. Where there is household dharma is there, Stri dharma is there, all the dharma they have given, and they are coming towards Krishna. So that is Alambana. So here is the other players are also there in the picture. So Uddipan is the setting, that the full moon is there, and the Alambana here is the gopis are coming for the pastime. And other rasas also, if we take Vatsala rasa, there also we can see such kind of like setting is there. Now, when we talk about karya, so karya also, there are like two types which is described. One is anubhav and another is that vibhav. So anubhav is the conscious emotions and vibhav is the subconscious emotions. So if any emotions which anyone is exhibiting, like for example in this Ras Leela only if we take, so when the gopis come to Krishna, then Krishna says that why you have come here? It is better that you return back because it is not good for a young girl who are married, who are here to come in the middle of the night to meet a boy, so you should not be here. So when the gopis hear this, so what happens? Their heart starts throbbing and the tears starts coming from their eyes and they feel very much agitation within their heart. So that is the subconscious emotions that automatically comes from their heart. It is not that they are trying to have this emotion that automatically comes. Similarly, in the pastime of Mother Yashoda also, when Krishna goes for tending the cows, and when Krishna is about to return in the evening time, so since morning when Krishna leaves the house, so Mother Yashoda is always waiting when Krishna is going to return back. So as the evening approaches, so Mother Yashoda runs, not just Mother Yashoda, all the gopis, they run towards the shore of Yamuna. And there they are just very much in a very anxious mood. They are waiting when Krishna is going to come. And as soon as they hear the flute of Krishna, and just a small glimpse of Krishna, they are able to see or visualize, or a small peacock feather which Krishna is wearing. So immediately, Mother Yashoda's heart starts like beating very like in a very fast way, and see the tears starts coming from her eyes. And as soon as she sees Krishna, so that is the subconscious emotions when like tears starts coming, her heart, like her body, like there is palpitation is there is trembling is there, the emotion is there. And as soon as she sees Krishna, she bends down because she is a tall lady, she is a mother. Krishna is a small boy is there. She bends down on her knees and then she extends her hand. So her extending the hand is the conscious emotions that she is extending her hand. That is called the anubhav, where she is extending her hand to embrace Krishna. And similarly, in this pastime, when the Krishna is telling the gopis that you leave, you do not be here. So the gopis, when they become very upset from within their heart, their tears starts coming from their eyes. Then they become angry, and then with their toenail, they are like somehow or the other, they're rubbing the ground. So they are trying to do something like externally to exhibit that they are upset. That is the conscious emotions they are exhibiting. And this sahakari is that vyabhichari bhav. So which is like helping the main emotion, that is the actual emotions which a person exhibits. So generally there is one sthai bhav that we know. The sthai bhav is basically the 5 primary rasa is there, which we all know, the dasaras, sakharas, vatsaras, madhuras, santaras is there. So that is the sthai ras, that is always is there. Like Mother Yashoda is always in vatsalaras, like gopis are always in madhura ras, the cohort friends are always in this their sakharas is there, that is always there. And there are 7 secondary rasas are there. So that secondary rasas sometimes get exhibited, like sometimes humor is there, sometimes anger is there, sometimes emotions are there. So what these rasas are doing? So these rasas, what they do, they try to enhance the main emotions in when they are having the relationship with Krishna. So that is the, you can say the sthai bhav is the predictable bhav, and the Vyabhichari, we can say that unpredictable, that one cannot predict that what kind of emotion a devotee is going to exhibit. So as we discussed, so Karan is the external stimulus and it has 2 types that we discuss, and the 2 types is that one is the Uddipan and Alambana is there, and that Kara is there, that the sub Kara is there, the exhibition of the emotion, the externally one exhibits. So that is when we discuss that the Vibhava and Anubhav, that is subconscious and subconscious is there, and the conscious emotion is there, and the Sahakari, that is the Vyabhichari we discussed. So these emotions are exhibited by the pure devotees of Krishna. So Acharyas very much, they are very clear that the people like no should try to imitate these emotions, especially the subconscious emotions, or the we can say the Ashta Sattvic Vikar, or the Ashta Sattvic Bhav, which a pure devotee exhibits. So it should not be imitated by anyone. So Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, so he gives the example of a pregnant woman. So he explains that sometimes not sometimes, when a pregnant woman, when a lady is pregnant, so when she is going to deliver a baby, so at that time when she is going to deliver, so she will be having intense pain. And when she will be having intense pain, then she will be crying loudly. When she will be crying, then she will be surrounded by relatives and all, and everyone will be consoling her. No, everything is going to be fine. And after some time, the child is born. So that is how a pregnant lady, that is the general symptom how a pregnant lady behaves. But there could be some lady who may see that why this pregnant lady is getting all the attention, why I'm not getting all the attention. So that lady may not be pregnant also, but she will start like loudly crying and shouting that I am also feeling pain in my stomach, I am also going to deliver a child and all. She may also behave in that way. But she may try to behave that way externally, but actually, no, nothing is going to come out. It's not that she is going to deliver a child. So that is why the Sahajiyas who are trying to imitate the rasa which a pure devotees exhibit, so they are like those women who are trying to falsely claim that they are pregnant. Another example is given that of a chaste wife. So a chaste wife, she will never exhibit herself in front of any other person. She will only exhibit herself in front of her husband only. So like pure devotees are like, they are chaste wife of Krishna or like chaste devotees of Krishna. So whatever emotions they are having in their heart, so they will exhibit only in front of Krishna. It's not that they will exhibit here and there. Sometimes like Sahajiyas, they will have tears in their eyes, they will start rolling on their ground just to gain some kind of cheap publicity from the people that they are very pure devotees and all. So this is very much condemned by the great devotees and great authorities. Like Gaura Purnima Maharaj condemned, Prabhupada very much condemned, Bhakti Vinod Thakur condemned. So no one should just by hearing or just by reading this Shastra or the different wonderful books which the Acharyas have written, also falsely try to imitate those kind of emotions. Now when we come to the pastime of Rukmini, when she is being teased by Krishna, so when we try to just understand that how this rasa is acting here. So here Uddipan is that the Karna is that Uddipan, the setting place is that in the private chamber of Rukmini. The Rukmini is very nicely decorated the house, and she is like waiting for Krishna. When the Krishna is going to come, she is going to like serve Krishna. And Alamban is that when Krishna actually comes. Krishna comes to the quarter of Rukmini. That is the Alamban. So when Krishna comes to the quarter of Rukmini, so what Krishna is doing? So he tries to invoke anger in Mother Rukmini. So he's trying to say all this kind of thing that, oh, I am just a cowherd boy, you are the princess, so why did you choose me? Because, and the other things Krishna says that there are so many kings were there, I am just a pauper, I do not have any money, and only people who are poor, they like worship me, and I take away all the wealth also. So all these things we have discussed, so we will not go into detail again. So this is how Krishna says, and he also said that I am whimsical and immoral person, because what kind of person is there that he will dance with the gopis in the night and then he will run away from from the gopis also. I did not even marry gopis also. That is how Krishna is trying to invoke the anger. And when Krishna tries to invoke, so there is the other emotion which comes into picture, that is the karya. So there is the subconscious emotion is that when Rukmini hears this, so she is completely devastated. And when she is completely devastated, so what happens? So the subconscious emotion is that, or Vibhav emotion is that she faints. She faints and falls on the ground. So that is the subconscious emotions comes from Rukmini. And the conscious emotion is that when Krishna goes and picks her up and then Krishna is consoling her, no, you should not become upset and all. I was just trying to joke with you. It's not that that kind of a relationship a husband releases with one's wife. When Krishna consoles, then Rukmini also becomes like pacified. And then Rukmini understands that what is the Krishna's desire, because Rukmini always tries to fulfill Krishna's desire. So Krishna wanted Rukmini to actually become angry. So Rukmini in a conscious way, so she becomes angry. And in that angry mood, she is like trying to confront Krishna, that whatever the thing which Krishna had told to Rukmini, that I am not suitable for you, you should have married to other kings and all. In that angry mood, she is like responding not to Krishna. So this is the verse which we discussed today. So here in the angry mood, what Rukmini is saying that, let each of the kings you named become the husband of a woman whose ears have never heard your glories, which are sung in the assemblies of Shiva and Brahma. And after that, Rukmini is saying that, After all, in the households of such women, these kings live like asses, oxen, dogs, cats, slaves, name all the animals, and she is taking name of all the animals, because just like person lives like an animal. So that is what Rukmini is trying to say. And Rukmini also, what she is Rukmini trying to say is that although the person you named that the Salva is there, Susubal is there, Dantavakri is there, Jarasandh is there, all they may be the worldly kings, but they are not actually the kings. Because I see that they are always under the control of the three modes of material nature. So actually they are not the king, the three modes of material nature are the king. And they are always under the influence of the time. So even they may say that they are the king, but they are actually not the king. And then you are saying about the wealth and all, so they are having the wealth. So what kind of wealth is that? All these are material wealth. And when you are seeing that your devotees are poor, pauper is there, they are pauper, they do not have material wealth and all. So they do not have material wealth because they do not want material wealth. It is not that the devotees of Krishna cannot have material wealth. They can have material wealth, but since they have got the tremendous spiritual wealth, that is why they are not interested in the material wealth. Like we see so many pastime, like and the Kolavecha Sridhar pastime also we see, then Mahaprabhu was ready to give him everything. You want to become the king of the heavenly planet, want all the wealth, you want to go any loka, Jan lok, Tap lok, Brahma lok, wherever you want to go, I am ready to give it to you. But Kolavecha Sridhar, he did not accept anything. Because the devotees of Krishna are the most ambitious people on this planet Earth, not in this planet Earth, and the entire creation. Because people in this entire creation, they may ask for some wealth, they may ask for name, fame, power and all. But the devotees of Krishna, you give him anything, they are not ready to accept. You gave him like heavenly planet, they do not want Brahma lok, they do not want Tap lok, they do not want any lok, they do not want. They do not want even Vaikuntha. So what they want? They only want Golok Vrindavan, which is the topmost of the planet. The devotees of Krishna are most ambitious, and even if they have some material wealth, they will simply reject it. So like we hear about the devotees of Shiva are very like prosperous. They have lots of material wealth, and the devotees of Krishna do not have material wealth. But Shivji also, he lives like a very poor person, just lives like a beggar only. Does not have any clothes. They sit on the Kailash, some caves and all. So there is one pastime where what happened that Mother Parvati, she wanted that there should be some nice palace built because I am your wife, so you should fulfill my desire. So Lord Shiva said, okay, fine, you are my wife, so I should fulfill your desire. So Lord Shiva built a very nice palace for Mother Parvati. Parvati Devi was very happy, and all the household paraphernalia were kept, everything was kept. Then the house opening ceremony was there, Grih Pravesh was there. Then all the sages, all the Brahmanas were called, and there was a nice feast, everything was there. So everything was arranged. Then the time came when the sages, Brahmanas had to leave. Now the duty of a householder is to give charity to the Brahmanas. So Lord Shiva asked, okay, fine, whatever charity you want, you ask from me, I will give it to you. So the Brahmanas started thinking, there is the best opportunity to get something from Lord Shiva. So they started looking what to get from Lord Shiva. Then they saw in the house, there were like beautiful paraphernalia, sofa set, bed is there, some utensils are there. They thought that Shiva and Mother Parvati have used, they are like very auspicious things. So let us ask some of these things. So one of the Brahmana asked, then can you give me this bed? I can go take this bed to my house. Someone asked, can you give me this chair and table? Can you give me this sofa set? One Brahmana wife asked, can you give me this kitchen utensil? I will take this to my home. So everything they wanted some kind of whatever Lord Shiva had used. So each one of the Brahmanas, they took each and everything from Lord Shiva's household. Now Mother Parvati was looking at Lord Shiva. There was only one Brahmana left now. So now Mother Parvati was thinking that now what Lord Shiva is going to give to this Brahmana, and what this Brahmana is going to ask from Lord Shiva. So that Brahmana is also looking towards Lord Shiva. Then Brahmana says that, no, I do not want anything, but as a householder, I know that it is your responsibility to give charity. And as a Brahmana, it is also my dharma to accept charity. So I cannot go empty-handed. But I see that there is nothing left in your house. So will it be fine if you can give me this palace? So Lord Shiva said, okay, fine, you take this palace. Then again, Mother Parvati and Lord Shiva came out and they started staying in Kailash. So it's not that devotees of Krishna, they do not have material wealth, they cannot have material wealth, but they do not want it because they have the topmost wealth of this love of Krishna. That is why they do not want anything. And here we see that we discuss about this. We discuss what the subconscious emotion and the conscious emotions. In that, where Rukmini is becoming angry towards Krishna or exhibiting her anger, and here the Sahakari emotion is that Krishna expected the humor. So initially, the horror came when Rukmini Devi she becomes unconscious, and later on, the humor aspect is there and the anger aspect is there, just to enhance the emotions. So, if we read Srimad Bhagavatam, so in the first canto, first chapter, the third verse only, it is mentioned about the Pibat Bhagavatam Rasam Alayam. That is, this Bhagavatam is about releasing the rasa, which the devotees are having with the Supreme Lord. And who releases this rasa? It is not only those who are in the liberated stage, those who are liberated or non-liberated, everyone releases this rasa. And that is the platform where we have to come so that we can start releasing this spiritual pastime in a right perspective. So if in our practical life, if we try to understand how we can apply in our life is that when we discuss about, because our main purpose is that we have to develop our love and feelings towards Krishna. So actually we have attraction for Krishna, but somehow or the other we do not, because of our conditioning, we have forgotten that attraction for Krishna. So the example is given that like Krishna is like the magnet and the devotees are like the iron fillings. So it is very natural for for iron fillings to get attracted towards magnet. But suppose that iron filling is covered in a wooden box. So even the magnet is kept there, the iron filling is not going to get attracted towards the magnet. So similarly, Krishna is there, but because of three modes of material nature, because of anartha, so we are currently in a box of material nature. So that is why we do not feel attraction towards Krishna. So we have to revive that attraction towards Krishna. So when we discuss about the Uddipan, so that is the setting. So one is that we should, in our life, we should try to consciously create such settings which enhances our emotions for Krishna. So Prabhupada has given us so many ways by which we can enhance our relationship or emotions or develop our emotions for Krishna. Like when we come to temple, we take darshan of the deities. That is how we can enhance our relationship with Krishna. When we sing Mangalarti, do deity worship, we sing Vaishnava bhajan, we take prasadam, we like go for book distribution, we do preaching. So there are so many things are there. So in our life, we can see that what is that specific thing in our spiritual life which enhances our relationship with Krishna and which invokes our emotions for Krishna. So we should try to develop that emotions, because if you are not developing emotions for Krishna, because in this world, so whether we are having spiritual uddipan or not, there is always material uddipan is there. Because if you are not towards Krishna, there will be towards Maya. That is very clear. So we have to consciously choose that how we can develop those kind of, we can do those kind of activities so that we can gradually in a very conscious way, we can migrate towards Krishna and we can develop love for Krishna. So that is how we can apply these principles in our life. And by doing those, gradually a day will come by Krishna's mercy, by Upa's mercy, devotee's mercy, we will also releasing these pastimes and we can also release the emotions which pure devotees have for Krishna. So these are some of the points I thought we can discuss today. So if any mistake I committed, I seek forgiveness from that. So whatever I read and heard, so I try to share those things. Hare Krishna, thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.